this one in the hotel.
Come take selfie with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
Take a nice selfie.
Now I'm feeling a bit better. I'd have done this yesterday, I might have. Yeah. Well, that was the whole point of buying the stick, really. But...
containing rocks and stones.
I have a good eye for that. I just think something.
And you know what works for you. Have you got a good eye? You've got that good eye. Do you mind if I kick it? Oh,
Ja, ich habe ja bezahlt, aber
I know, I better not.
ich mache jetzt einfach mal Bildchen. Hast du das? Das müssen wir wieder festhalten.
Dobra. Powolutku możemy tam. It's better to go like here. Not here, like here. Repertoire.
Arabic tangos bana.
So my friends, we come this way, please.
Kiwelka idę wrócę.
Also als Pass. As you see, my friends, that what you are looking down here is the natural spring of Moses. They call it Moses Natural Spring, where the water comes. I mean, the farm, they use the water nowadays for irrigation, while the spring itself is where the big tree is there. There is like a cave, like a, yes, and the water comes out of that cave.
Okay.
This area here is called Siaga. Siaga, and it's like it was well known. You know, I want to tell you that Jordan, what's called Jordan now, it used to be a part of the Holy Land for hundreds of years. And even, you know, we have the description of the ancient Christian pilgrims who came to visit the Holy Land, and they describe, you know, the description of the sites that they have been in, and Mount Nebo is one of them. You know, the way that we were taken all the way when we turned to the right from Madaba Governorate down to here, up to here. It was always considered as a part of the. There is an olive harvest nowadays. That's what the guy is doing. That is always considered as a part of the Christian Pilgrims Road. So the pilgrims, they used to, you know, to start in Madaba, then they come to visit Mount Nebo, and then they take the way down to Jordan Valley, visit Jordan River, and then Jericho, and then to Jerusalem. So this was like the ancient Christian Pilgrims Road, and the story of this site started in you know, the time of Moses, and approximately it was like around the Bronze Age, Iron Age, you know, because we all know the story of Moses, you know, when he immigrated from Egypt toward the Promised Land, and he passed through the far south of Jordan, where Wadi Musa is, you know, Moses Valley. It's where the archaeological site of Petra is located nearby, and you know, until the recent time, the people call it Wadi Musa, Moses Valley. And then the tribes, they passed all the way to here, where Moses could not make it, you know, to Jerusalem. So he saw the Promised Land as God ordered him to see the Promised Land from distance, and then he passed away. So according to the remains, also beside what the Christian pilgrims described about this site and the other biblical sites around, beside that you would find also the Byzantine remains that prove, you know, and one of them was the mosaic map that we are going to see. You know, out of that mosaic map you would see most of the biblical sites as the Byzantine people believed they supposed to be. You know, and dating back to the 5th century AD, and out of that map they could show, I mean, the artist who made that map, he showed Lot cave, you know, Jerusalem, and the only missing thing, which is I think it would be great if it left in that map, which is Petra city. You know, that part of the map, the south part of what is called Jordan now, you know, which is like nowadays is a part of the map, is missed. So Petra city is one of the missing sites, while the rest of the sites you would find them out of that mosaic floor. Here the important about this site is the view, and that's why the Byzantine people, you know, they built Moses Church right at the top of the mountain, right in front of the panoramic view, to commemorate the story of seeing the Promised Land, you know, itself. So we are going to make a round. We will pass by the monuments that were erected just recently in 2000 AD, when the Pope came to visit, you know, the holy sites in Jordan, and Mount Nebo was one of them. Jordan River baptism site was the other, you know, the next stop, like on the Christian Pilgrims Road. So and then we visit the memorial tomb of Moses, and all the way we walk to the panoramic view, where we be able to see Jerusalem and Jordan River.
This works not. I can only do
You
it.
should be able to do a bit with that.
Yes.
Well, thanks, mate.
Malay mo, hindi na makabalik. Hindi na nga nakabalik kasi rin walang picture. Kami ng ate ko, ang nagpasinod kasi.
So we use the same word means I, the same word used to mean natural spring.
Well, I had to buy this one, and I looked at the narrow one, and the very first for Nikon, and I decided to buy the older.
This is now.
Wenn man nach Beten
After removing the mine, according to the old books, we found where the church is, where is the exact place where Jesus died. So that's why
And also besides that, we find the names of those Franciscans and also the people who paid You see, guys, this monument was erected in 2000 AD. And it's, the artist who made this, he wanted to symbolize, the tablets of Moses. At the same time, he showed the face of Jesus, the face of Moses, and the scary faces of the Indian Christians who were persecuted, the first 300 years. Also, you find, when you look at the names of the members of the Franciscans and the people who made the nation, who erected monuments here. This site is supervised by the Franciscans since 1980. Since that time, there is accommodation for the Franciscan representatives, and there is always one down there then here on this side.
And made this memorial to the
And place for the international congress. So my hobby, I work at once I have the rest of the day. I will check out the and that's the reason why
You see some Arabic words in the back side of this monument. It says, Allah mahabba da'wat as-sama wa risalat al-anbiya. God is love. Like all the messages indicate for one God.
yes.
Here also you would find like pieces of mosaic were brought from the surrounding Byzantine sites, and they cut a piece of mosaic and they represent it out of that Bedouin tent, like the shelter. They cut it into square pieces and they make it together in here.
Okay.
So they just want to show the visitors, the pieces of the Byzantine mosaic floors from out of Mount Nebo.
Say cheese and smile. Sorry.
They agree. 10 days or 20 days after the visit,
Because one lady, she requested this.
Sorry, I'm in your way.
You've been
Sorry, I'll
in
go
as
again.
tall as that, right?
عند العجلة هاي
Et comment il s'appelait c'est le Jourdain, ça?
En France, c'est Jourdain.
This piece of mosaic was brought from another site, another Byzantine site. As I told you, the whole governorate of Madaba is full of Byzantine sites, like several ones. And that's where the name came from. You know, they used to call it the city of Mosaic because the hundred of mosaic floors they found in Madaba city. By the way, Madaba, the name itself, you know, Ma means water in Arabic language and in the other Semitic languages like I think Aramaic and Hebrew. Daba, Ma, Daba is like the plenty of water, the land of water. And you know, this area is famous for the natural springs. Even you know, in the old days, like let's say 50, 60 years ago, the natural springs were the main source for the desert. That's why now it's shrinking. It's losing like 1 meter every year because nothing left, you know, from those natural springs. Whenever you go around, you find the same, you know, Christian figures. You know, usually you find the tree of life, and you know, the people who are riding horses and trying to, you know, find wild animals. And I think the Byzantine people, they want to symbolize, you know, like how we fight the deserts. You know, we are going to take to go this way. So we can see the background. This room, and also there is a small museum here. If you want to have a look, then you have 3 times. You build it.
Thank you.
Amman city, you see the 2 towers.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then, you know, all the 12 Jordanian governorates, all of them are located at the top of the middle mountain chain. And you would find only sort of villages in Jordan Valley or in the desert line, which is our natural border with Iraq. You know, behind Amman there is another governorate, it's called Salt City. It's the oldest capital city for Jordan. And you know, it's written same like salt, S-A-L-T. I don't know if there is a connection between the salty lake, Dead Sea, and the name of that city.
Okay. So you see we're not that far from Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho, we would, you know, now we are looking to the north side. Once we go there, we would be looking to the west side, which is Jerusalem, Jordan River, Jericho. And you know, it's not be able to you know, the Sea of Galilee to be seen, but you know, that direction is where Nazarene and the Sea of Galilee, Golan Heights.
It's Jericho. I was there in 1985. We went there to view inside an excavated area. It's supposedly the oldest known
Jericho
man
itself,
construction.
Yes, Jericho is one of the you know, all the human settlements. It's considered as the oldest walled city in the world.
Okay.
That's why, you know, when it comes to the mosaic map in Madaba city, and you know, the artist, he wanted to show the biblical sites out of it. You know, on the east bank of Jordan River, you would find that he symbolized lion and gazelle. He wanted to symbolize the wilderness where John the Baptist used to live in the east bank of Jordan River. You know, it remained like virgin area, like a real wild area until the recent time. And you know, the war case between Jordan and Israel, which remained from 1948 until 1994, you know, the time of Bill Clinton, the American president. That's when Jordan and Israel had the peace treaty. And then people start to be allowed to get close to it. But before that, it used to be military zone, so that helps to keep it virgin as it used to be in the ancient time.
Okay.
You know, according to the story of Moses and the tribes, you can imagine that they came in that time from very dry area, you know, from the desert. And when they come to here, they were looking at the green area of Jerusalem and the areas around, and they call it what? The land of milk and honey, or honey and milk.
وين جيروسلم؟
جيروسلم هي هون. بدنا نطلع على جيريكو. Right at the top of the mountain, you would see this monument. It's made out of bronze. Was done by an Italian artist. He wanted to symbolize the serpent of Moses and the stick of Moses in a cross shape. There is a sign here that would help to show you the directions.
Ah, c'est peut-être mieux.
Come on, shorty.
This sand dust storm. It seems that they are doing some construction down there.
Right.
Is that wildlife? No birds?
Wildlife?
No birds?
Yes, there are some nature reserves around here where you will find the wildlife well protected. But you know, this part of the country is like, it's considered like the green basket for the country, because here where the agriculture in Jordan is taking place. You know, and the farmers here, they keep doing the agriculture along the year, and they have like several seasons. You see, guys, you are looking to the northern beach of the Dead Sea, where Jordan River comes from the heights of Lebanon, like 2,000 meters above the sea level, and it goes all the way down to end in the Dead Sea. You know, from 2,000 meters above the sea level to 440 meters below the sea level, you can imagine the speed of the water is quite high. And that's what makes, you know, the riverbed itself, it goes into like snake way, like zigzag, into triangles. Jordan River is that one. You know, nowadays the water is shrinking, so it's more like small stream nowadays. But according to the size of the riverbed, you can, know that it used to be huge in the ancient time. Jericho, the city of Jericho, and the mountains of olives, right at the top of the mountain there. In more clear weather, usually we are able to see the golden domes, you know, of Jerusalem from the top of Mount Nebo, from here. To the northern beach of the Dead Sea. Sea of Galilee is supposed to be, I mean, it's over there at the corner.
أحسن لك عندي 147,000 فولوور.
كويس.
اللي
active socialist. This way goes down to, to the Dead Sea, and also it goes down to the Byzantine side, and also it is like considered for 100 years as a part of the ancient Christian pilgrims road. The Pope of Catholic, when he came here 2 times, 2000 AD, they took, this way down to Jerusalem. You know, we have a border between Amman, between Jordan and Jerusalem, and Israel and the West Bank. Is called King Hussein Bridge, and it's like a bridge over Jordan River. You know, from Amman to Jerusalem is like 1 hour something.
1 minute. You have to tell me where is Jerusalem.
Jerusalem على الجبال اللي هناك.
هناك؟ اوكي. هلا بتقول كمان فوت فوكس واطلع على فوق.
ماشي.
هيك دغري؟
Ah, here.
So I could take a picture.
All my dates are on this.
Abraham, when he used to have a couple of camels.
Sam, let's try. So here.
My friends, later you have the time to see this place inside, and then
Come on, the right angle.
this way.
Okay, thank you.
So straight, you would find the restrooms in the right side and the small museum that I told you about if you want to have a look inside.
Thank you.
What's time now? Guys, yeah, if you want, you know, we still have like 15 minutes. So if you want to have a look at the church, look at the mosaic, and then the way back to, the gates.
This is the...
Where we are standing. Here's a church, yes.
Yeah, so it's all of that.
Do you like mechanical engineering? Is your last year?
Oh yeah, it was supposed to be in the beginning.
Back over here, so. Down the way we come up.
Down this way.
Yes, ins Nose.
Yeah,
Bremen.
Yeah.
Großen Kneten. For the waving horses.
Oh, she's got barbs or something. Barbs. Bar horses.
Yeah, yes, now.
Kim!
That's exactly right.
Hello. In box, yeah. This is a box. It's the same as we use this time on Walter, and the other one.
We don't even want
Primero, luego aquí. Esto es lo que veíamos alrededor. Mar Negro, Pico y la montaña de Jerusalén. Vamos a ir como
Forse guarda 25 minuti qua.
Montenegro, sì dai. Sì, sì. Montenegro.
Vedi, questo è quello che siamo andati a vedere prima, il memoriale di Mosaic.
Questo è
Dopo il 1933, quindi locali e questo è il mosaico che ho visto. Questo è il mosaico che viene da dentro. Aramaica, incisione aramaica.
It's near the River Rhine, in the Black Forest, the beginning of the Black Forest, near the Church of France. About 1 hour to drive.
Oh, you are there? Yeah, my great-great-grandparents was from Marburg.
That's right.
Marburg?
Marburg?
Marburg.
Marburg?
Marburg, near Frankfurt.
Yes.
That's where my great-great-grandparents.
Ah, great. Oh. Great-great-grandparents.
German.
What?
German.
Yes, yes.
I am.
Good blood. Good blood.
Absolutely, yes.
So the driver, he will try to be close. Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Guys, before we go inside the church, I want you to have a seat in this shade room.
I just can't believe you didn't go where's Samantha. Mum.
Why you want to go to shade room?
Yeah, we will go later, but we are not.
To pray.
Okay, we are not allowed to talk inside. So
And you're not allowed to talk as such. I came to go to church.
I will give you time to
Don't tell me yalla.
No.
I have to do my rosary inside.
Yeah. You will take 1 hour inside.
Going in here. But just a sort of preliminary.
Oh, preliminary?
Okay, here we go. We understand.
Take a seat.
That would remind you of the school time. Yes. You know, in my generation, the teachers, they used to literally use the stick.
Some people here want you to use that.
Same when I went to school.
The Byzantine people used this map to be the floor for the church. So it was much larger than what is left now. You know, the white parts are the destroyed parts of the mosaic floor. I don't know if I mentioned before, there's earthquake. There was earthquake in the 8th century AD, and that was the largest one. So most of the archaeological sites in Jordan, you know, in the whole region, collapsed, you know, grounded after that earthquake. And then another one was in the early 20s, 1926, 7 something, and also that one was major earthquake. So that's why two reasons: the earthquake, you know, and also man-made destruction, like what happened to the lion here. That's what they call it, the icon war, ICONWAR. So icon war, you know, when a group of extremist people, they start to believe that we should not show the human and animal figures, and that's why they start to, you know, to erase the figures. But there is one thing when it comes to the story of those people. It seems like they respected already the church and the mosaic floor. Otherwise, they could simply destroy the whole thing. But they were like picky to, you know, just to raise even the tiger here, and the people here as well. You know, the human figures were raised for the same function.
It's like Google does when you go to Google Maps, blurs out the people.
This map, in reality, it's supposed to be upside down. So, you know, Jordan River comes from the north, ends in the Dead Sea. So, in reality, this is supposed to be like upside down. But for some reason, the artist who made this mosaic, he made it in this orientation. So, the Dead Sea is like the key of the map, if you want. Here, what's called Jordan now, the Jordanian land. And from the Dead Sea on the west side is Israel and the Palestinian territories. And here is Egypt and the Mediterranean Sea. So if you start from, and here where it's supposed to be Lebanon and Syria. And I told you, for me, I believe that the most important site, I would love to know how they showed it out of this mosaic was Petra City, which is supposed to be somewhere here, but it's gone. You know, because we can figure out how important the city is according to its size. And for example, Jerusalem, he made it in a much bigger size than the rest of the areas. So Jerusalem is big enough to see even the Kaaba, the canal street, which is the Roman plan for Jerusalem, and the wall that used to surround the whole city, and the Damascus Gate, as they call it, or the North Gate of Jerusalem. And you can tell that like it was inhabited by a big number of people, like the crowd of the houses. So it was like well inhabited by people since the Roman time and even before. So if I start from the Jordanian land, the first thing in the far south, you can see the first site, I mean, is Karayos. This city is famous during the Bronze Age and the Iron Age, and that time, what they call it, the biblical time. It's like 1,200 years BC, where Karak was the capital city for the Moabite kingdom, the land of the Moab, or the land of Moabites. In Arabic, we call them Al-Moabiyin. You know, Jordan, my country was inhabited by 3 ancient kingdoms. The Ammonite in the north, the Moabite in the middle, and the Edomite in the south. So that's the reason why the capital city of Jordan is called Amman. As you know, the name came after Amun, or Rabat Amun, which is the ancient name for that city. Then the Moabite kingdom. So here is like the Ammonite kingdom, and then the Moabite kingdom, and the Edomite kingdom. The whole thing is gone. Like you cannot see anything left. When this map is more like religious stories. So that's why all the size, or the part of the map, the artist wanted to show the connection between those sites and the biblical stories. So it's like here more about Christianity and the story of Moses. Because they started from Egypt, with the 12 tribes, and this Sinai desert where they got lost for 40 years. And Nile River also is connected to the story of Moses when his mother left him in the basket and then threw the basket in the water. This was Nile River. Delta is where Jesus moved from here to the Egyptian land. And here's where the Christianity street in Egypt, we call it in Arabic as-Sa'id, it's like the delta, the Nile Delta, where you would find, even though there is some time, the majority of the Egyptian Christians, the concentration of them is in here. Then they moved the tribes, all the way through, from Sinai to the Red Sea, and then they got into the Jordanian land. They passed through the land of Adum, the land of Moab, and that's the reason why the artist who made this one, he showed the two valleys here, because both of them were mentioned in the Old Testament. The first one here, the far south, it was mentioned Zarat Valley, and that's the biblical name for it. Nowadays we call it Hassa Valley or Hisso. And here is Mujib Valley, this is the Jordanian name for it, and the biblical name is Elnon Valley, Elnon. And here, Malun's cave. By the way, this is a new discovery. Like they discovered this cave just like 20 years ago. Before that, we know the cave by the map, but we don't know it in reality. Here, where we just came from, Mount Nebo, and this is Moses' church, which is facing, the Promised Land. The lion and gazelle, as I told you, they symbolize the wilderness where John the Baptist used to live. And then when Jesus crossed beyond, or he went beyond Jordan River, and the English name that was used is beyond, which means he crossed to the east side, or the east bank of Jordan River. And Jericho. Number 4, this bridge, until the recent time, we have the border with West Bank. It's called King Hussein Bridge, and sometimes they call it Al-Limbi Bridge, and it's still working. And the artist showed the two fish. One of the fish is like swimming against the waves and running away from the Dead Sea. He wanted to say it's salty, no life in it. So that's why he made like the direction of the fish against the waves. And here the people at that time, they used to mine salt and put them in out of the Dead Sea. You come to the most important one, Jerusalem. I already mentioned Beit Lahem, Hebron, the Mediterranean Sea. So these are this almost about the map of St. George Church. This one is one among hundreds of Byzantine churches were found in the whole Madaba governorate. And you can tell when you look at it that it looks modern from outside because it was restored several times. Maybe the last restoration for this church was in 1933, and this is the time when the Franciscans, they came and they start to manage and to supervise the Christian sites in Jordan, since it's like a part of the Christian heritage. I want to pass the ticket, and then we can go to see the original one. Guys, this way, and yalla. You show the ticket, please. It's like going to the people who are in the way in. The way back.
not looking for a go this far.